Okay, people, I know we started. This is your homework for math on Tuesday. 2 dash 9. Sorry, it's Saturday. I don't know what day it is. So this is the last day we're going to work on our adding and subtracting. Now we're all the way out to the hundredths place. And again, we're talking about the part, whole. So you guys are just going to figure out what the other part of this is. And then we just want you guys to realize that, you know, there's lots of different ways to work this out and to get your answer. But just remember part and part. So this would be 0.568 plus this is what we don't know, right? Equals the 1.079 or the 1.079 minus 0.568 would equal the unknown, right? Or we could technically flip those two, right? So just remember, lots of different ways to do this. So what I would do is if I have the whole, I kind of like this subtracting one because I mean the addition one kind of turns into subtraction anyway. So make sure you're lining this up right. 0.079.568 and then subtracting to get your answer of 1 root 5. Make sure your decimal point comes down. And to get credit for this question, you have to type this in exactly like this with no other placeholders. Got it? It's got to be 0.511 or else we'll just assume you didn't watch the video close enough. All right, take a second and figure out B. Pause the video. Okay, B is the same thing, whole, and you're going to find this other part, right? So you can fill this part in or whatever, but mostly we're worried about you lining these up. 0, 9, 2. And now I'm going to subtract because I have the whole and I want to find my other part. 5.81. And then remember, they didn't have a 0 here, but there is one. So I'm going to throw the 0 in there. So it all lines up perfectly. And then you just do your math. Over here, get a 2, drop my decimal point. 282. Yep, that's it. And remember, whole, the whole would go here, minus a part would equal your question mark, whole part. And here you would have the part you don't know plus this part here would equal this whole, right? All right, make sure you type this in exactly like that or else you won't get credit. All right, let's see. Pause me and do part C. Okay, so for part C, we have both the parts, right? So a part could go here and you would add, a part would go here, you would add, and then you would get the whole if you added them up, right? If you wanted to do this as a subtraction problem, you'd have to take the whole, put it here, subtract one of the parts, and then you would get the other part, right? So simply, this is just adding. I like to put the bigger number on top because it helps me. 11.303 plus 1.3. And I'm going to put in the zeros just so I don't get confused because they're like placeholders, right? And then you would add this up, drop your decimal straight down, and you would get 12.603. Type it in exactly like that, or you won't get the points. All right, D. Pause me and do D. Okay, again for D, you have the whole, and you have a part, and you're trying to find this other part. So you would take your whole and subtract one of the parts. Put in the 0 as a placeholder so you don't get confused. 2 zeros. And then you just do the work, right? And remember, this relates back to when we did connects back to the word problems we did on Thursday and Friday, right? You got to make sure you line these up right or you're going to get messed up. 7, 1, 6. See, they're getting tricky with the regrouping in this one. 9, 10, 11. Drop my decimal down. Got to regroup again. 7 minus 16 is 9. 9. So your answer would be 9.367. Make sure you put that in exactly like that. Okay, so we got 2 more. Okay, pause me and do E. Okay, again, it's whole and part, and they're just trying to confuse you with the decimal. 2.192. Put in your zeros. Subtract, because this is the whole. This is the part. This you would put here. You would put this here. And then this question mark you would figure out here. Now, don't let this regrouping mess you up, because you can't do anything with this 0 right here, right? I know you guys can't see where I'm pointing. You can't borrow from this 0 right here, so you got to borrow from the 3. That'll make that a 2. Then that'll make this a 10. So that's like a step, right? Well, now you can borrow from the 10. That turns it into a 9 and brings your 10 over here into the tens of thousandths place. 8, 0, 1.3. All right, and then the last two, I'm not going to give you the answers to. So you can pause the video now, work those two out on your own. And remember, just put the answer in like I did. You could put the placeholders in here and get this answer at the bottom, but you've got to just keep it to the placeholders that you need to add, right? Don't add in tons of extra ones. So like these ones added in are okay, but don't, go 0, 0, 0. When you type in your answer, it won't come up. So just keep it to the ones that fall into the problem. If you have to put them in as placeholders, then they count towards the answer. But if you're putting them in out here and like doing this, it's not going to mark it right, because you don't need this column, right? And you don't need this one or this one. Now you do need these 2 zeros to do your work. So do the last 2 and then type those in on your own. All right, guys, good work. Talk to you later.